This is Jonathan Ferguson, the Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. And I'm your host, Dave Jewett, and today we're taking a look at the team-based, terraforming First World War shooter over the top World War I. Seeing a community learn all together, or be instructed by their fellow players, why you don't build trenches in straight lines was fascinating to behold.
How many times do you have to die before you understand? Enfilade.
When I started playing, I was like, hey, zigzag. start throwing in some right angles.
Serpentine.
Come on now. There is a longer, more in-depth version of this episode with a few bonus guns over on our Patreon, link in the description to check that out. But without further ado, I'll throw it over to Jonathan. So this is a very interesting game. The models and the textures are, I don't think the devs will mind me saying, basic, but it's to facilitate the rest of the game. So it might look basic, but there's actually some interesting depth to the gameplay, largely around how the environment changes.
I can see it.
All the trenches, all of the barricades, all of the cover is player built in a massive multiplayer match, like 100 v 100. And the way it works is that you can build trenches anywhere. All of the environment, all of the ground, you can dig through it. And you could play a match, win, push the enemy off that ground, lose the second match, return to the previous map, and all of the maps still have those trenches, those craters, all of that damage, and it creates a really interesting dynamic.
I bet it does. I'm not sure about the star-shaped flash on the Chauchat. I'm talking about muzzle flash. This just has a conventional cone-shaped flash hider, so there's no way for a star shape to come out of that. So I appreciate what you say about, the graphics are going to be not super detailed because they've got to put so much into the terrain deformation and everything, but that's something that could easily be fixed. Just don't make it star-shaped like a action movie. The gun looks good though, I have to say. Gun looks pretty spot on. It is essentially a giant tube with some sheet metal additions and the infamous super curved magazine with the exposed sides. The cartridge cases coming out of that thing are a bit short and fat, even for the 8mm Lebel round, which is relatively short and fat. Good sound. Good chunky sound and rate of fire going on there.
Yeah, for a studio that I believe is a team of 4 people.
Wow.
Like, even if some of the models and textures are basic, they've gotten the shape and some of the details in the weapons present and correct. At least from my point of view, from my experience.
So far, so good. Yeah, you can see the holes in the barrel shroud there, about halfway up there on there. Buttstock without a butt plate on it, because this was essentially an emergency wartime design. That's correct. You got the receiver or the recoil spring extension sticking out the back awkwardly over the buttstock. It's such a diesel punk thing. There will be inevitable comments about it jamming, I'm sure. But I mean, 2 things about that, I suppose. One, it didn't, the American conversion was the really problematic version. And the other thing is, this was designed in about 3 weeks, not 3 weeks, but designed very quickly, put into service, rushed into service. So the faster you make the things, the more quality control problems you're going to have. It's a crude design, and it's one of the early automatic rifles, so it's going to have, compared to a manually operated weapon, it's going to have stoppages. So I think it has a bit of a bad rap. Okay, so the rifle, effectively standard British rifle, is kind of the wrong rifle. It's the pattern 1914.
This was one I unlocked, so it isn't the
the
base rifle you get when you start the game.
Sure.
There's things like the Ross rifle and another Enfield variant, but I thought this was an interesting one to highlight.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, I say it's wrong because, well, firstly, we're focusing on SMLE production for the British troops, and unlike the American experience where they didn't have enough of their own rifle and they ended up getting Enfield, being this design, but in their 30-06 caliber. Yeah, the pattern 1914 was never fielded in any numbers in the First World War because it was originally meant to be the pattern 1913 in And stop me if this sounds familiar from recent history, a super high pressure cartridge. Very good design. Some will say it was the best bolt action of the First World War, and it became a sniper rifle in the second as well, in a limited capacity. So it's a good one to include, perfect for the timeline. I think the main use of the pattern 1914 for the Brits was actually the Second World War for training, and weirdly the commandos used them for training again, I think. I don't think that was an issue weapon for them. They had some slightly tastier kit. You can always spot it for the great big bit of barrel sticking out the end compared to the other Enfields, and that distinctive receiver design, the cranked bolt handle. It's basically a Mauser action derived, but with the cock-on close of the classic Enfield, and back to 5 rounds in the magazine, which is a little bit of a weird choice, but nonetheless well respected. This one happens to be a sealed pattern rifle. We don't have a seal on this one, but we do have markings. They had to create 3 separate seal patterns for the 3 different American factories because they couldn't agree on the standards, basically. And that was when they were making them ostensibly for us in 303, which is the version that we see in the game.
You can hear people telling each other to dig. You've got to dig in this game. There's a lot of digging.
And presumably building of sandbags and parapets and things as well.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, I've got to say, it's such a big aspect of the war, and yet very few games do much more than let you run in and out of a few trenches.
And the chaos of it, you know, like I said, if you return to a map a second time during a campaign, and just the absolute state of the map that you then have to re-navigate or relearn, seeing it go from basically open field with a couple of trenches either side to just absolutely devastated, muddy, full of holes and trenches. There's really no game that's done anything like that before.
No, it's very impressive. Good reload there with the clip, or charger, as we called it. And good bolt action in terms of using the finger and thumb and operating it like this, not like this. That's correct. There's a reason that's a ball shape, and it's to act like the ball and socket joint in your hip. So yeah, this was one that was given to Winchester to make their version of the P14, hence the W prefix. So shout out to our friends at the Cody Firearms Museum who have that collection now.
Hold your position. Stay vigilant. Be ready for a counter-attack.
We're on a flamethrower, I take it.
Yeah, a French one?
Yeah, I don't know much about French flamethrowers. I remember the German Wex. That's about it. Yeah, that feels substantially more terrifying. Like, essentially generated trenches where you don't know the layout, nighttime, and a dude with a flamethrower.
Well, using it at night especially, just broadcast. You know, you're a massive threat with a flamethrower if you get close enough. It's like basically a one-hit kill, and everyone can just see where that flame is.
Yeah, the flame, it looks good, but you can sort of see it's made up of little blobs, little puffs, all sort of strung together. It does the job.
That guy just playing the piano while we're trying to fend off a push.
Why not? Got to keep morale up, old chap.
Ammunition!
Yeah, the old strip-fed Hotchkiss. I mean, rather you than me firing that thing from the shoulder, but you've got the great big bolt handle at the back you have to sort of unlock to pull back on. It's not actually bolt action. And the great big steel strip loading, which seemed like a good idea at the time. So this looks great to me, but yeah, and there are guys that could shoulder fire it. I wouldn't want to be doing that. It is a light machine gun, or I guess potentially a sort of automatic rifle from the hip. And of course, rest it on the parapet, fire from there, no problem there. The feed device does always strike me as a little bit terrible for trench warfare, in terms of at least
a snag risk doesn't really cut it, does it?
Snag, mud, the lot, really. Yeah, it's gonna literally drag through any amount of crap.
So one of the interesting things about this game as well, I was playing it basically since launch, and seeing a community learn all together or be instructed by their fellow players why you don't build trenches in straight lines was fascinating to behold.
How many times do you have to die before you understand enfilade?
There's clips coming up where I just jump in a trench and there's just about 20 dudes in front of me in a straight line, and when I started playing I was like, hey, zigzag. start throwing in some right angles.
Serpentine.
Come on now. We need like branching trenches. And they was like, no, I dig towards objective.
Yeah.
Instead of, pushing an objective with smokes or, a big rush or covering fire, a lot of this game was cover the engineer so we can build a tunnel or a trench or cover to get us that bit more forward.
Oh, is that a bunker?
Yeah, there's bunkers that you can either build or use, or you can spawn from bunker entrances. They're like the spawn points.
Oh, is it just like a fake portal type? Oh, boo. I want to go underground. I love a bunker, me. Yeah, the hatch reminded me of the Royal Observer Corps posts, the little bunkers that we have all over this country.
We dive even deeper into the weapons of over-the-top World War I in our Patreon-exclusive Extended Edition. Becoming a patron comes with perks such as 1 week early access to videos, Discord access, and we have over 70 Patreon-exclusive Director's Cut episodes and a bunch more bonus content. Not only do you get early access to all of our episodes, but you also get podcasts, Discord access, and much more. Either way, whether you join the Patreon or watch along here on YouTube, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being part of this journey. And now I'll get back to the video.
Berthier carbine. So this was supposed to replace, because even the label was old hat, 1886. That was outdated by the First War. You got killed just as I was watching the reload there. It's very inconsiderate.
I do apologise.
So it was supposed to be replaced by the new Berthier, but as a rifle, didn't really. But the carbine versions do get some traction, which is perhaps why it's a carbine here.
Well, the carbine was the weapon of the engineer, of the sapper in the game, and I think that was to try and balance it. Your priority is to build trenches and do sapping, so it's lost some velocity. You'll see the rounds drop off much earlier, but you should be shovel in hand and throwing sandbags down. Is this weapon also unblock?
Yes. So the original Berthier design was only 3 rounds, so you've gone from the 8-round tube of the admittedly kind of underpowered label to something more modern, but only 3 rounds. But the carbine brought that back up to 5, which is somewhat better. I think it'd be quite frustrating in the game if you were using the older 3-round variant. And this is available. What's the model 1960? It's the M16, isn't it? The Berthier carbine that's 5 rounds.
The other M16.
The other M16, yeah. I don't know how audible the clip sound should be, because it's not a Garand ping it out the top on block. It's a Mannlicher drop it out the bottom clip. So if you've got mud under you, you're not going to hear a ting. I guess there's a faint sound as the clip is released to drop free, but it's nothing. I don't think it'd be at all audible in this environment. The number of French soldiers that died because of the fatal flaw of the Berthier ping. the Berthier tinkle, as we shall call it. I am being sarcastic in case it's not evident. Right, now this is a gun I would absolutely expect to be included in any First World War shooter. It is the Bergmann MP, complete with trommel magazine. And we are so lucky to have more than one of these in the collection. So although there's one on display you can come and see. In fact, please do come and see our First World War exhibition, permanent display. Wasn't necessarily supposed to be permanent, but it is. Myself and my 2 good friends and colleagues, Lisa and Henry, we curated that. Lots of edge weapons in there as well, as much armour as we could squeeze in, but of course lots of guns. And this is one of them, and our best one is on display, but this is not bad at all. MP-18-1 with its Luger-designed snail drum. They've got a good slow rate of fire there. I have fired one of these over 10 years ago now, and it does chug. Not too far off from a bit slower than a Sten, I would say. Did see some use right at the end of the war. The only submachine gun, as far as I know, that saw actual use as a submachine gun. I should clarify that, because I can hear the words Villar and Perosa are marching toward this conversation with ill-deserved confidence. Yeah, there's that star muzzle flash again. That seems to be a standard effect on all the guns in the game. I think it would benefit from not having that, personally. I suppose we have the sort of timeline issues in any First World War thing. Stuff's moving so quickly at this time. We've got a guy here with his Pickelhauer on. Of course you're going to let players wear a Pickelhauer, it's the First World War. But he's using an MP18. You're not going to see those two things together, I don't think, unless there was some madman in a Stormtrooper somewhere. And no bayonet, of course, on the Bergmann, which might be surprising given where and when it's invented. And a lot of submachine guns later do have bayonets. But there was not, perhaps experimentally, but there was not an issue bayonet on the Bergmann. I mean, you can see why. In a 1918 context, you'd think, well, that's far too short to be used with the bayonet. You're better off throwing it at the enemy. Trench knives, of course, were a thing. In fact, a lot of trench raiders, at least, preferred to carry their bayonet separately or carry a trench knife separately than to have it fitted to a rifle. So they would raid trenches with bags of grenades, loose blades, effectively, pistols, but they would leave their bolt-action rifles at home. Well, not at home. You were really in trouble if you left your rifle at home in a world war. Oh, sorry, can I be excused? I've left my rifle at home. That face shield, I don't remember having seen before, but I'm guessing it's based on a real one. Maybe a portable sniper plate for your face. I mean, it's not my area, but I don't remember us coming across that when we did the research for our exhibition. Good shooting position for the pistol. Yes, it is a pistol. Another argument on Twitter about that recently. It's a damn pistol. It's a revolving pistol or a revolver pistol. Yeah, I mean, language changes, I know that. But yeah, he's kind of got his head cocked over to the side, his elbow is bent. It's not super exaggerated like a sort of, target shooting stance, but it's still very of the time. That's very good. It's the Reichsrevolver, of course, the big old clunky German service revolver, which ideally would have been replaced by the Luger pistol, self-loading pistol, by this time, but wasn't, because they had too many sidearms that they needed to issue. That would have to be the double action version, because the hammer is moving when we pull the trigger.
So this class, the armored fighter class, obviously designed to take trenches, and the armor does stop a reasonable amount of rounds. It doesn't make you invincible by any means, but that helmet or that mask, I did a little research about it, and as far as I can tell, it is based on a sniper's one because it has that cutout for the rifle stock. And I saw it called the Sappenpanzer Geist mask, and it was for snipers and machine gunners in static positions, whereas we're charging into trenches with it this time around.
The body armor is certainly Sappenpanzer. Typically, though, or at least for machine gunners, it was the standard Stahlhelm with the reinforcement for the forehead, basically, sticking over the top. Oh, I like the fact that German has a pipe.
There would be a few times where someone would shoot me in the chest wearing the armor, and while they're cycling the weapon, I've turned on them with a pistol. Yep,
that's the thing. With these days, we don't think of pistols as military. Well, they are military weapons, but you know what I mean. They're not a preferred combat weapon for the most part. But in this specific time and place, absolutely they are, because they're functionally semi-automatic, whether they are or not. They're much more wieldy. You can pull them in, push them out, fight through trenches with them. The pistols probably never had more combat utility than, I guess, tunnels in Vietnam, but, given the extent of trenches. Look at him clutching his Tankgewehr there. You do get a sense of the weight of it. Oh, good lord. Dazzle camo. That's a real German camo. I've seen. Well, so is Dazzle, but only for warships as far as I know.
Yeah, this is one of the tools you want to use if you really want to go toe-to-toe with a tank.
Cannot shoulder fire that thing. It's so...
Not if you want to keep your shoulder.
I went to pick one up to bring it over here, and I'm not going to do that. I've got too many other guns to wrangle, and it's just so... The way you've seen the way things are stored here on the benches, I can't get the mechanical advantage to actually lift it up from the... I probably would have been better off grabbing it from the front. Anyway, I decided that this is too close quarters to be waving it about in anyway. But yeah, there's the physical heft of it. It's astonishingly heavy. And then there's the recoil. He is half butt plating that thing. That is absolutely going to wreck your shoulder. There's no brake on this. There's no soft rubber butt pad. There's no reciprocating barrel. There's nothing to soak up the recoil of that extremely powerful cartridge. I always think with this, in fact, I should have taken the bolt out and brought it with me. If the enemy gets too close, you take the bolt out and hit them with it, because it's a very hefty club in its own right.
You do not have much close range defensive options when you're playing as a specialist with a Tankgewehr.
Definitely not.
It's either don't miss that one shot or bring out your trench knife.
Yes. Well, what I did bring is that's the Spitzer version of the 8mm 7.92 round, and that's the 13.2 Tankgewehr round. Look at the state of that. Oh, one-shotting a biplane with a Tankgewehr. Wow.
That guy called me out in chat later.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good shot. Oh, absolutely minced.
Yeah, we'll make a mess of someone if you hit another player with it.
I mean, it sort of makes intuitive sense, but yeah, in reality, it's just going to make a fairly sizable hole in you, and you will sit down and then lie down. It's not going to turn you into a Jackson Pollock. Vickers gun. My stiff upper lip is quivering. Sounds good.
Machine guns are so important in this game to the point where if you kill a machine gunner, you get extra points.
Excellent. They should
They
be.
are so vital.
Looks good. Again, I didn't want to drag a Vickers gun over here, but that's looking pretty good. Including the crank handle flailing about.
To sort of punctuate the importance, whenever I'm on a Vickers gun or any machine gun, you feel targeted. You don't last long.
People didn't want to be near machine gunners. Nicknamed alongside snipers, actually, the nickname was used for both of them, the Suicide Club, because they were thought to be such a threat and therefore such a risk to be around. And also, soldiers, I guess conscript soldiers, viewed any sort of professional killer, as it were, with suspicion. Whether that's a sniper who puts a head in his crosshairs, or a machine gunner who's there like putting thousands of rounds down range and killing people, as they would see it, indiscriminately. There was some kind of resentment and suspicion of both trades, as it were, which is interesting. But I often think of it as it's the only strategically significant small arm, or firearm if you prefer, where producing enough of them, sighting them correctly, using them correctly, can actually turn the tide of a given battle. I don't think that's true of anything else that fires a rifle caliber bullet, or certainly not a pistol caliber bullet. Are you pissing in your water jacket? Did I see that correctly?
You can piss. I don't actually think it affects gameplay.
Really?
But that's the only reason I can imagine they've added the piss emote, because of the stories of people pissing on machine guns.
Okay, so it isn't cooling the gun down.
It isn't actually cooling the gun down, but I've seen videos of people just standing around machine guns pissing on them. I'd love to know if there was actually a way to make it help, because the guns will overheat. If you had people pissing on your gun, it at least has some historical precedence and could potentially be helpful.
Yeah, spoiler, it does, although it's in extremis, as you might imagine. Normally you'd have a supply of water. I'm actually starting a little sort of occasional spin-off series on our YouTube channel where we do, I was going to say shorter videos, but some of them may not be, where we tackle certain myths from the firearms world, and some of them will be true, or at least to some extent. This is one that I originally researched for QI many years ago, and was surprised to find some evidence for. I'm not going to try it in case anyone's worried. But what you would do is great way to get fired, isn't it? Very memorable. You would collect it as a substitute for water. You wouldn't inject it directly. Although there are stories from the Second War of non-water cooled guns, and they are pissing directly onto the scalding barrels to try and keep them cool. If you boiled the water in your jacket and the gun was super, super hot, then perhaps you would urinate directly onto the jacket. And it's weird that I should end this section by using the word urinate when I started it using piss. But we have already we have already used that word together on the internet. So I felt entitled to use it again.
It's like you checked yourself in real time.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I think, should I have said that? And I usually say, yeah, probably fine.
Charlie
Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and tell us what other games, movies, TV shows, or beyond you'd like to see on the show. As always, I want to give a massive shout out to all of our wonderful supporters over on the EXP Patreon who allow us to make cool videos like this. Links to support Jonathan and the Royal Armouries will also be in the description below, so make sure you check those out as well. But until next episode, I want to say thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, all of that good stuff, and I will see you very soon.